Hundreds of sailors are back here in Hampton Roads. USS Gravely returned from a 2-month deployment in the Gulf of America. 10 on your side's Robert Rizzo was pairside at Naval Station Norfolk.
The first view of the ship also brought on the first cheers from the family members of USS Gravely, which pulled into Naval Station Norfolk after almost 3 months out at sea.
My dad's coming home, and I'm gonna give him a hug.
The ship deployed back in March to the Gulf, supporting southern border operations. They teamed up with the U.S. Coast Guard to prevent the flow of illegal drugs in the region.
The Coast Guard law enforcement detachment on board, we shift our who we work for essentially to the Coast Guard. We fly the Coast Guard flag, and then we're able to do law enforcement operations as the Navy, which is not typically the way that it's done for the Navy.
And it was in the Caribbean Sea back in May when they were alerted of a 20-foot boat of interest, possibly running drugs.
We got in the way of where they were going. We used our MH-60 Romeo to essentially compel them to stop, and then we sent our law enforcement detachment on board to take control of the ship, and then seize all of the narcotics which had been thrown overboard. So one of the ribs we have was doing the narcotics recovery in the water, and the other one was taking control of the vessel of interest or the target of interest and securing the folks that were on board.
On that day, along with the Coast Guard, they seized 19 bales of cocaine at almost 860 pounds with an estimated value of over $13.5 million. They arrested 3 and sunk their boat.
Once the vessel that we interdicted was determined to be a hazard of navigation, we did sink it with some of the armament, obviously nothing that we used in the southern Red Sea, but we have guns on board and just to make sure that that is not a hazard of navigation for the other vessels in the vicinity.
The family members boarded the ship to greet and welcome home the crew of over 300 sailors. Whether it's a 90-day deployment or a 9-month deployment, reuniting with the families here on the pier is still very emotional and long overdue. In Norfolk, Robert Rizzo, 10 on your side.